IdentifyEPI.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny and warm good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Lake and Dew Russell, as we take a look outside and see that beautiful sunshine again. Unfortunately for some folks, you didn't get some rain. For others of you, you did, especially on the west side of the state and in northern Michigan. They picked up a little bit of rain over the last 24 hours, but the rain was not the story. It was the heat, very warm, very muggy for a lot of folks west and northern parts of the state, as we said, and overnight did get some rain, but temperatures, goodness gracious. Oscoda, 99 degrees yesterday, Midland at 96. Saginaw broke a record that was set back in 1923 when it hit 96 degrees. Caro, 93. Flint at 94. Bad Axe, 92. West Branch at 93. Mount Pleasant, 93. And Owasso looking at 94 degrees as well. There is a frontal system that's moving from, I want to say southwestern Kansas. It's moved up to a low pressure system, which is over the northern 25% of the lower peninsula, and all that activity is moving in an easterly direction. So as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours, that front that's hanging on to the low in Kansas and the one in Michigan is going to be dropping ever so slowly to the south and to the east, and then will become stationary in a couple of days over the Ohio River. So that's the reason why for the next several days we are going to be looking at some very unusual weather in terms of it's just going to be a chance of rain practically every day. Unsettled air, I guess, is the best way to describe it. It's going to be humid, even though the temperatures will be dropping a little bit. But still today, we're going to be working our way well up into the 80s. Lakin, as of right now, let me see here. What do you have as far as current temperatures go?
At the MBS International Airport, the temperature is sunny with 84 degrees. In Midland, it's sunny at 86 degrees with variable under 5 winds. At Saginaw here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 86 with the winds out of the west at 3 with a barometric pressure of 30.16, and it's steady. Steady as she goes. It looks right now like though the best chance of unsurmountable heat is what they're describing it to me, is going to be right along 69 in areas to the south. So we do have some heat indices. They're worried about the heat advisories in along 69 and south, like it was here yesterday and Sunday. Pretty warm over the weekend, wasn't it? Yes, it has been pretty warm the past couple of days. I know the farmers have been out in their fields spraying overnight and early in the mornings because the temperatures have been so hot and the winds too have not helped. So we got it done there. And I saw some farmers out this morning with the crop duster came at 5:30 to get her in before the temperatures got too hot. Right now, we're going to be looking at a variable wind. It is going to pick up a little bit coming out of the west. Maybe 8-10 miles per hour, so that should help. And then tonight, we're going to see a little bit of a wind shift because that front will move through. It looks as though 5 to 10 miles per hour coming out of the northwest. So you'll know when the front moves through because that's when there might be a chance of a shower, a scattered thunderstorm here and there. And the frontal system is going to continue to drop. It'll be northeasterly breeze, 5 miles per hour or less tonight with plenty of clouds around. An isolated shower will be in the forecast. Tomorrow, after a low of 66, we'll move up to 78 for a temperature today. Or tomorrow, about 10 degrees cooler than what it'll be today. But still, we are going to have unsettled air and a chance of some showers, a northeast breeze right around 5, 6, 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, Cloud cover, shower activity, again, a chance of a thunder shower here and there. A northeast breeze tomorrow night, 7-8 miles per hour, 62 will be our low. And then on Thursday, a little bit warmer once again, 81 with partly sunny skies. But once again, later in the afternoon and the evening hours, there will be a chance of a shower here and there again on Thursday with a northeast breeze about 5 to 7 miles per hour. Looking for a low on Thursday night of 67. Then on Friday, partly cloudy skies. It'll start to warm up. Looking for a high of about 84 on Friday. Still a chance of an afternoon shower. That's what happens this time of the year with the heat and the humidity. It's very normal to have a chance of showers every afternoon and early evening. Friday night, still a chance of some showers around 68 for a low. Saturday looks like a really nice day. Sunday looks like a nice day and warm. Middle 80s for a high on Saturday, 90 degrees for a high on Sunday, with a chance again of an afternoon or an evening shower. And that chance will continue into the day on Monday. Monday's high will be about 85, 86 degrees, still a chance of some showers. Above average on the temperatures to take us right through the end of the month. Then we're going to cool down just a little bit, low 80s as we start off the month of July. Precipitation tallies should be roughly average for this time of the year. As I said yesterday, we broke a record as far as warm temperature out at MBS International Airport. Matter of fact, yesterday broke all records. It was the warmest day in recorded history at MBS International. Our high was 96. Our low was 79. That smashed the record that was set back in 1923. The coldest ever, you got to go back to 1979. 64 was our high, 42 was our low. Now, the warmest ever, 24th, is 95 for a high, 73 for a low, and that was set back in 1997. So we'll see how we do with that. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Abby Twigler will be joining us, and also Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. Abby's with the Andersons, so we'll get the latest on the markets there, which have been trending to the negative side. Eric Sawatsky will be joining us as well a little bit later on, Jerry Samolsky, and we'll also be talking to Cameron Victor from Greenstone Farm Credit and wrap up with Teresa at Baird & Company. All of that, but this reminder first, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Roof Max. You know, if you've got an aging roof, I would even venture a guess to say that it might be a good idea to have it checked, because the knee-jerk reaction is that I'm going to need a new roof. You know, it's in the 20-year category, and it continues to climb, and we keep getting not only hot baking weather like this, but you get hailstorms and you get all sorts of other things that could affect that aging roof. Maybe you might want to just find out what kind of condition that roof is really in from an expert that knows. Now, Ben at Roof Max will tell you one way or the other. The nice thing about him is he's true to form. I mean, he'll tell you exactly what's going on as far as that roof goes, because the chances are he's going to have the product, which is called Roof Max, that'll treat and restore flexibility and extend the life of your roof. And obviously, like it happened to me, you will save thousands of dollars in one big headache because it's safe, it's quick, it comes with a 5-year transferable warranty. And the nice thing about it is the guys, when they're all done, they clean everything up and they are gone. And the chances are, if you didn't see them on the roof and you didn't see them packing up, you didn't even know they were there. 989-859-6751 is the number for a free estimate, free roof assessment right now from Ben at RoofMax. 989-859-6751 or go online. Now, this is very important. AskBenHow.com. A little care today can save a whole lot more tomorrow. Along with us, we say good morning to Abby Twilliger over at the Andersons. And Abby, I was trying to hold off as long as I could.
I say we just talk about something else.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened yesterday. What was going on yesterday?
So yesterday, I think a lot of it was just give back from from last week, where we did see some good updates there, some gaining in the market. And I think yesterday was kind of a lot of anticipation of the crop condition report coming out, that it was still going to be, good, nothing drastic changing there. And then also, as well as the talk of the ceasefire between Iran and Israel, that stuff's going on. I think that, and also throughout the Midwest, they're getting the rainfall that they need for the corn and soybeans. So, I mean, even though we are seeing some down on the corn conditions and beans here in Michigan, and well, actually up for corn in Michigan, but across the country down or unchanged, I guess. It's just the market's just playing off weather, and we don't really know what it's doing, it seems like.
I guess not. Well, of course, all the uncertainty overseas has got to play on the market a little bit.
Yup, correct, it does. Even though they're not huge, crop states, but global tensions and, dealing with oil and stuff, that definitely puts an effect on the grain markets.
Yeah. So right now on the board, what do you have?
Right now in Hemlock, old crop corn is at 407, new crop 366, old crop soybeans 1004, new crop 974, wheat, which will be here before we know it, red 472, and white 512. What
are you seeing right now in the wheat as far as out and around where you are?
It's really looking good. Heads look nice and full. I know a few guys were in this morning talking about how this rain hopefully, makes it grow that last little bit and brings test weight up. Some guys are thinking just shortly after the 4th, like the 5th, 6th, 7th, and other guys are thinking it won't be till the 15th, 16th-ish. So, kind of wake up and see what this heat does this week. I would have agreed that it probably would be the 4th if we wouldn't have just got all this rain in this area. There was areas that got 3 inches over the last couple of days. So,
well, that's what I understood, because I've been gone for a few days around. Whereabouts was the heaviest rain?
So down into Shields, just south of Shields, seemed to be the biggest part. I know south of Midland, where I live, we got about 2.5 inches. And it seems like as you go south towards Oakley, it got a little bit less and less. I believe Oakley had about 0.9 to an inch, and south of there down to about 1/2 inch. So kind of south you went, it went down a little bit, and then more north it went up.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why the topsoil readings and subsoil moistures are looking pretty good right now here in the state.
Yes. Yep, there's definitely plenty of water still out there in this general area, at least. We don't necessarily need the rains the next couple days, but I don't think we have a say on if we get them or not.
You know what? I think you're right. Abby, you take care. Have a good day, okay?
Yep, you too.
Abby Twilliger over at the Andersons. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me right now. The market report brought to you by Krejak's House. A great place to dine in and a great place to supply the food for an event that might be coming up either in the not too distant future or a little bit ways off. It might really be a good idea to do some advanced planning. 989-894-5531. That's the number. Krejak's House, corner of Cass in Michigan on the south side of Bay City. And of course, they're inviting everybody to attend the St. Stan's Athletic Club Festival that kicks off on Thursday and goes all the way through the weekend. The folks at Krejak's will be supplying some of the food over there, and I know you're definitely going to want to go. Market Report also brought to you by Ed Raymond's, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Carhartt's, Red Wing shoes and boots, Stormy Cromer accessories, all available right now at Ed Raymond's, 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning, open 7 days. Check them out online, edraymond's.com. Doug Klein, good morning.
Good morning.
What are we looking at?
Well, price of oil is $65.30. That's down $10 in 2 days after Trump said knock it down. So they did, and once they got that ball rolling, it's kind of hard to get back up on your high horse when he's standing on your head. So there you have it. Gasoline should be about $2.80, but they seem to take their time to come down on that. We should see it, in a couple weeks or so, maybe. I don't know. Stock market's almost at an all-time high. The Nasdaq is just less than a 0.25% away from hitting it. So that's hotter than a $3 pistol. And so what else you want to know? The Netflix hit an all-time high today. They're only $1,200, $1,280 a share. So it'll give me a couple of shares of them and retire. But I guess that's all I know. They're really pounding precious metals also. And the euro is over $1.16 too. So that's getting awful expensive. Here's your numbers. July corn, 4.19 3/4, up a half a penny. December corn, 4.31 1/4, down 2 1/2. July soybeans, 10.52 1/4, down 6 1/2. November soybeans, 10.39 3/4, down 7. July wheat is 5.38, down 14 3/4, and December wheat is 5.78 1/2, down 14 1/4. On the crude oil, 65.26, down $3.25. Heating oil is $2.29, down 7 1/4 cents. Gasoline is $2.12 1/2, down 9.2 cents. And natural gas is $3.71 1/2, down 8.5 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3708 Canadian. That's down 23 ticks. The dollar buys 144.81 yen, down 131 ticks. The euro is at 116.16, up 40 ticks. And the dollar's at 97.89, down 52 ticks. Gold's at 33.15, down $65.60 an ounce. Silver's 35.68, down 51 cents. Platinum's $12.97.80, that's up $13.90. And copper's at $4.91 1/2, up 1.4 cents.
All right. You have a good one. Keep that crude oil going down, okay?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Talk to you later, Doug.
All
Thank you. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. They've got a great selection of products from Sure Crop and Nature's that'll help you increase your yields, Mr. Farmer. And of course, Vic Huffer, he's got the advice for you that you need. Serving you has been their business, and they've been doing it since 1983. Freeland Bean and Grain. Last week, we had the opportunity to talk to Cameron Victor. He's a livestock insurance specialist with Greenstone Farm Credit. And we talked a little bit about what they call LRP, Livestock Risk Protection. Cameron, good morning. How are you this morning?
How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Cameron, let's recap here just a little bit. Now, what do the new products cover on this livestock risk protection?
Yeah, so LRP has historically been used to cover beef cattle and swine. Looking forward to July 1st of this year, so next Tuesday, producers are now going to be able to insure close to the market value for their cull dairy cows as well as their day-old beef on dairy calves.
So what does that mean for producers?
So what that means is that producers are going to be able to take advantage of these much higher elevated prices for those calves and for their cull dairy cows right now. And they're going to achieve that by taking the feeder cattle index and multiplying that by a new seasonal price adjustment factor. So we're no longer just insuring what the CME says the futures are worth. We're going to try to insure those animals as close to market value as possible so producers can get these elevated prices covered up as best as possible.
What did producers do in the past, Cameron?
So in the past, they either had to use LRP for their beef cattle, or they had to use DRP for their milk. There was nothing to include these elevated prices for the calves or for the cold dairy cows. So they had to use a proxy hedge, something that was close to but never quite covered the true value of these animals. Now we can really get it locked in with a cheap subsidized insurance product that's really simple to understand.
So for more information, how do producers learn a little bit more about the products?
Yeah, they can reach out to Greenstone by visiting our website, greenstonefcs.com, or they can call in at 800-444-3276.
Cameron, Victor, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again next week, okay?
Appreciate it, Terry. Thank you.
You bet. Cameron Victor with Greenstone Farm Credit Services. Along with me right now, Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, what should we be looking at right now?
Terry, again, we keep talking about monitoring water. That's always a big thing. You know, some of the fields and the farm crops, they started from seed and the roots are out and they're a lot better. Planted crops like we have that in containers, they just really need a lot of monitoring. And we've been getting more calls than normal that I just planted this thing 2-3 weeks ago and it's not looking good. It's dead. It's drying. Well, it isn't. It's water, Terry. And again, the hardest thing we talk about is too much water, not enough water. But at the end of the day, when something dies within 2 weeks of planting, it's usually not the plant. It's the planter or the maintenance person with either too much water or not enough. So really keep an eye on that. Keep out there. The moisture loss and the leaves and everything with the heat and wind we've been having is just tremendous.
All right. Jerry, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Yes, sir.
Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. We'll be right back.
The Rummel Agency in Frankenmuth, Carroll, and Saginaw is celebrating, and you're invited. 75 years serving your community is something they are very proud of, and they want you to celebrate with them. Wednesday, June 25th, the Rummel Agency will be welcoming both clients and the community to their Frankenmuth office at 522 South Main. Park in the area and join them behind the office under the tent. Enjoy local food and their very own anniversary beer brewed right in Frankenmuth. The Rummel Agency wants to get to know you one-on-one so they can help get the right insurance protection for you and your family. Ever since 1950, that's been their reason for doing business, and people continue to trust the experts at the Rummel Agency, having fun and helping people. Now it's time to celebrate 75 years and going strong. June 25th at the Frankenmuth office, 522 South Main, from 4 until 9 p.m. It's the open house at the Rummel Agency.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Michigan Truck Spring of Saginaw. Quality parts and service at very competitive prices. 800-358-4751 or buy online at truckspring.com. Eric Sawatsky, Yo and Yo Accounting, joining me right now. And Eric, let's talk a little bit today about a proposal to the tax law in the Senate version of the bill.
Yeah, Terry, wanted to give a little update. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the House bill that passed, and now the Senate has picked that up, and they're tinkering with it. A lot of the provisions in the House bill are currently the same in what the Senate is proposing, but wanted to highlight a few things they're kind of looking at where there are some differences. So it'll be interesting to see where these things end up. But for the most part, all of the pieces of the bill, they're basically in agreement. It's just dollar amounts in some cases, but really nothing significant as far as actual provisions that are not included in one but in the other. But a few things to highlight there. One thing we heard a lot about during the campaign was no tax on Social Security. Currently, because it's a budget bill, going through budget reconciliation process, they can't change that process in there. So currently, both the House and the Senate have a new deduction that would be like an additional standard deduction for the taxpayer. So if you were a senior on Social Security, currently you'd get another depending on the House or the Senate, either another $4,000 or $6,000 of deduction added to your standard deduction. So that's kind of their current way of going about reducing that tax that you see in the Social Security benefits. So that's one, they're still kind of hashing out the dollar amount there, but the idea is the same. Both show an increase to the child tax credit. One is looking to do a permanent change to the credit, and the other was proposing like a 3 or 5 year increase, and then they would have to renew that. Charity, there's a new proposal out there in the Senate version only so far, but if you do not itemize and you just take that standard deduction, they're proposing a $1,000 to $2,000 deduction in addition to your standard deduction for certain gifts given to charity. So that would be a new thing that was not in the House bill, and now we're seeing that on the Senate side. And then for small business owners, there's currently a big deduction where a lot of small businesses are able to deduct 20% off the top of their net income, so really only pay tax on 80% of that business income. The Senate now is trying to keep that 20% as the portion that's removed or deductible. The House actually bumped that up to 23%, so only 77% of the income would be taxable. So that one actually are some pretty big numbers for small business owners. So we want to keep a close eye on where that one lands. Those are a lot of the big differences, but like I said, they're kind of agreeing on a lot of things. So I think the current thought process is they're hopeful by July 4th or so, we may see a final version coming out of the Senate. And then obviously if there are changes to the House bill, it'd have to go back to the House again before it could finally be signed by the president.
Eric, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You take care, okay?
You too, Terry.
Will do. Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude with the playing of our national anthem.